This is probably the biggest investment that I've made in myself. I'm so happy I did it, and I wish I had done it sooner. One of the things that I realized going through this program is the level of awareness that I have now. It's totally different. Change is possible. Do it as soon as possible. Do not wait.
What is going on, Reboot Team? Chris coming at you with yet another testimonial from somebody coming to us from our exclusive Reboot implementation program. And I've known this guy for a little over a year now, and I've watched him grow, I've watched him flourish, and we're going to get to know his journey a little bit. I am here with Neil. What is happening, sir?
Hey man, happy to be here.
Happy you're here, man. Sincerely, I want to start really before we dive into any nitty gritty, just from the very beginning. Like when you first discovered the program, what was going on? How did you first, come into contact with the program? Like what was going on around that time?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I had just recently dropped out of school, kind of, I guess, floating, trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. I was kind of like doing crypto, and then like I had done quote unquote really well, and then I had lost it all. And, it was a really kind of tumultuous time. I, I was just watching YouTube videos, and I was kind of in the whole NoFap sphere, and I had started thinking about, my problem with, porn, masturbation, and orgasm, and you know, just watching more and more clips of, different groups and YouTubers, and eventually I just came across one of JK's videos on YouTube, and I'm like, man, this guy, he makes a lot of sense. He cuts through a lot of fat. And yeah, I just tried out one of his, I think I tried his free PDF. Like, I think it was like, I can't remember what the PDF was, but it was a free PDF. And I just remember reading it and noticing that it was different from all of the other information that I'd read previously. The NoFap guys, it's always about counting days and all that type of stuff. And it was totally different from that. So I just remember engaging his PDF and really enjoying it. And yeah, then I just took the dive down there, down this porn reboot recovery.
So you're checking out some of JK's stuff, and you're checking out like a lot of his reading material that he's put together. What was the moment like when you came to that realization where you're like, you know what, like let's do this, like let's actually like dive in? Like what was the moment that made you kind of like, you know, really take the plunge?
I don't know if there was a defining moment. It was just kind of an amalgamation of all the past things that I had gone through. Like I just talked about, like, you know, leaving school, losing all the money in crypto or whatever, not being where I want to be physically, not being where I want to be relationship wise. And GT had actually reached out a couple years previously. Like I had already started, talking with GT, and then I kind of ghosted him, and then I was like wavy, and then all that stuff happened, and I was like, okay, enough is enough. I think I have an idea what's going on in my life, and I feel like this is gonna help me tremendously, so I'm gonna commit to this thing.
I love that, man, and really, really relatable. And I want to hear a little bit about your experience overall in the program. So just starting for some basics, what has your experience been like overall in the Facebook community?
Such a positive environment, so non-judgmental, so supportive. I think that was like the first time I really experienced something like that within like an online community, just overwhelming, yeah, support. I just being around a group of guys that totally understand what you're going through, it's super empowering, and you can actually feel yourself connecting with these people. I mean, I don't know how other online communities work, but every single person there, all the reboot heroes and all the other brothers that are, working towards this goal, they're all giving different tips, they're all giving their different experiences, and it's super collaborative, and everybody is so giving. It's actually insane. It's insane.
Yeah, the giving part was something that kind of threw me off at first in a good way, where it was just like, oh, wait, people actually care, like people are actually relating, and it's a line that's kind of become like a Chris cliche. But I really learned it through like the Facebook program, like, oh, snap, like this feels so personal, this feels so nuanced to me, no one's gonna get it, but then as soon as you share it, I'm telling you, can't count the amount of posts I've made where I felt this only relates to me, but let me share it anyway. Guys would be like, "Hey, I've been there too. I've been in your shoes. This is what helped for me," and they share some insight. It's just, oh my gosh, so awesome. So I all that is to say, I can totally relate to where you're coming from. That's awesome, man. It's really cool.
Yeah, yeah, dude, again, like this is probably the biggest sort of, investment that I've made in myself, and I'm so happy I did it, and I wish I had done it sooner. I wish I had done it sooner.
I
Yeah.
do. Well, let's talk about like, your experience with the, coaching calls. How's that been going?
Yeah, yeah, man, it's great. Like I'm learning something every single time. Like on the Sunday calls with you, you're going through the book and just reinforcing that information. And I always pick up something small that's new, that I might have maybe missed, or there's a different perspective on it from one of the brothers that is reading that book. So the Sunday calls were really good for me, especially with my schedule. It worked out really well. And then with the coaches, man, those are some powerful things. Like I definitely took away a lot of learnings, like the calls with Orestes, those learning let go calls. Wow, those things are powerful. I really loved those. Dr. Eastman, just so much nuance in terms of like learning to manage your emotions and what you're going through psychologically, and simplifying it. I think a lot of guys might be able to relate that they overcomplicate things. We overanalyze, and you need that coach or that mentor that can just break it down nice and easy, simply, and this is what it is, and that's what's happening. And you're like, oh, dang, okay, yeah, totally makes sense. And Dr. Milan, his coaches are great. Sorry, his classes are great. Again, just analyzing, your mind and reframing how you think about yourself, your identity. All of those are they're all assets. I mean, and I take something away every single time. So yeah, the coaching calls have been great.
I'm literally really happy that you've gotten that kind of value from the coaching calls and that level of, like you said, that nuance. Like you can really kind of go in deep in terms of your own emotional regulation, your own mindset, your own sense of self-love and purpose and letting go of the past. I mean, there are so many different ways to get coached up, but it kind of goes back to one of those things that you really learn once you join the program, and that thing is it's really not just about the compulsive behavior stuff.
I think like one of the things that I realized going through this program is the level of awareness that I have now. It's totally different. And I realize that doing the dialoguing exercises, what that's making me do is, oh, okay, we're starting to dig down deeper into the things that I was covering up with porn, masturbation, orgasm, right? Maybe it was certain goals that I wasn't going after, whether that's health goals or, financial goals or relationship goals, or just taking care of myself, right? Like just taking days for myself. That level of awareness that I didn't have previously, it's just I'm just so happy that I have that now. So I guess like yeah, coming back to all the things that I've taken away, it's just been like that core thing of awareness, self-compassion, reflection. Yeah, these were all things that I previously didn't really value in myself. And so that's been just kind of a catalyzing of a huge change in me. I didn't really talk about it, but like it's gotten me to really take my health seriously. I'm hitting the gym consistently now. This is the most weight or muscle I've actually gained ever in my life. My sleep is improved. Like I'm actually getting to bed on time now, which is great. I'm not groggy in the mornings. Also, like, I want to be social. I would like to, be around my friends more. I do want to be dating now. It's just that kind of like domino effect that you get from it that was something that I didn't really expect. I thought it was, like you're saying, I thought it was more about the problem, but it was all the things that I was avoiding in my life that I was basically medicating. And so, yeah, I've gotten a lot more in tune with, oh, okay, I'm feeling this emotion because this event happened. And now I want to escape that event by PMO or whatever it was. Maybe it was video games, maybe it was YouTube binging, right? Like it wasn't just porn, as you said. It was all these other things that I was using to medicate myself
Mhm.
from my life, from the things that I wasn't going after or feeling fulfilled in. So just that level of awareness, man, it's great to really start to feel that and notice it and experience it.
That's so cool, man. And I'm curious, what have been, and you have mentioned dialoguing a little bit, but what have been some of the other tools perhaps that have helped you generate that sense of awareness?
Yeah, I think also the rational irrational tool, that's also a really good one. It's just hardline kind of exemplifies like, okay, my emotional mind is kind of thinking this way, but in reality, the truth is this, and that very quickly reframes your perspective in the moment.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's
Yep.
another one that I really liked. Yeah, the feelings exercise, core exercise. Without that, I think none of the other ones can really be established, actually. So first thing in the morning, man, it's kind of funny. It's like until you actually do the feelings exercise consistently, it's like, holy shoot, I'm going through a whole spectrum of feelings and I'm just letting them control my days. Like I'm not really pinpointing what this thing is and understanding it and attacking the problem as to why that feeling is happening or just analyzing it, maybe not necessarily attacking it but observing it
Yeah.
and understanding why it's happening. We're kind of just so accustomed to like, oh, I just feel like crap, so I'm just gonna feel like crap, like I'm not
Yeah.
even gonna try to understand it. So yeah, that's another good one, feelings exercise for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely major. And I remember I'm just having like a retrospective moment, like some of our first conversations, you were talking about like your school days and the crypto days. I was like, I remember that, Neil. Like I vividly remember some of those conversations, and like it's been really encouraging to see like that sense of awareness begin to blossom and bloom into someone who, like you said, it's one thing to like kind of like go on autopilot through your life and not really, I guess I'm just gonna feel like crap today. It just is what it is. It's like it's really cool to see you kind of like take more ownership, over your state. And therefore, that in turn will influence you to make a healthier decision. So it's not like we mentioned, it's not just about the porn stuff. It's just like knowing yourself, and being there for yourself to the point where, any past unhealthy behaviors just sort of naturally kind of dissipate or fall by the wayside. So I think that's really cool, man. And sincerely, I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's absolutely like the two other things that I would take away. It's compassion for myself. I know for a fact a lot of us beat ourselves up if we slip or relapse or, whatever else it is in our life doesn't go the way that we would like it to.
Oh, yeah.
We beat the hell out of ourselves. And it's like, again, we don't analyze, why we're beating ourselves up, what the reason is. And so, starting to develop that, that healthy, gentle kind of love was something that I hadn't really done before. And so, the dialogue has really helped with that. Just having a better relationship with myself. And then the second thing that you mentioned there is, ownership, taking action, which is the other big thing that I'm taking away from this is that, you know, every problem, I think most problems in our life, they are solvable. Maybe, there are some things that maybe necessarily might not, but I think most things are. As you start to work backwards, you write them down, you reflect on them, you take the smallest action. If it's something that's a big problem, you take the smallest action that you can, right? I think in our early conversations, that was kind of how I was coming out of relapses and slips, is just take the smallest action, go back to the basics, fundamentals. What is it that's going on? And take that small step. And that's another thing that I'm carrying on into my overall life. So
I love that. I really, really love that. Both like from you and for you. That's really, really cool. And there's a question that I love to ask on calls like these where, we get a little bit more, speaking of being kind of retrospective and kind of looking back in a way. Imagine, hypothetically, you were to bump into somebody and they essentially confide in you, like, hey, I'm having a bit of a history with, certain compulsive behaviors as well. Um, Knowing what you know now that you perhaps didn't know back then when you were first starting out your reboot process, is there anything you would want to share with that particular person confiding in you? Or is there anything that you would want to tell that person?
I would say the thing is, you know, doing it with another person or a group of people who have gone through it is gonna help you to get through that. If that's what you choose, if that's what you want to do, you know, something like an accountability group, like the porn reboot system, like elevated recovery, that is something that, you know, you don't realize what that's going to do for you if you've never experienced it. If you all the brothers and all the tools and just everything, you can't it's something that you can't transfer over, right? Like I think you actually said before, it's like I wish I could just transfer everything in my mind over to you, Neil. Like, but that's something that can't happen unless, that person reaches out and starts the process of, recovery and with a group of people who is supportive. So definitely it's a hard thing to do on your own, but with a group of people, with a group of brothers, it's definitely possible. Change is possible. So, yeah, that's the thing that I would say.
I love that. So, sort of like a follow-up question, would you to this person recommend this program?
100%. 100%. And do it soon. Do it as soon as possible. Don't wait. Do not wait.
That's awesome, man. Man, I feel really encouraged, man, because I'm not saying it to be, over the top or anything like that. Like I vividly remember some of our first talks and like it's like I'm listening to you speak now. I'm just like, who are you and what have you done with Neil? But it's
Yeah.
really encouraging, man. And I know that this is only the beginning.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, definitely.
before we before we start to wrap up and break down, odds are if someone stumbles across this conversation, odds are pretty high that they might be struggling with a, compulsive behavior right now, you know,
Right.
and yeah, they might be looking for answers. They're just looking for, guidance. They're doing research, and for someone who might be watching before we say goodbye or someone who might be checking out our talk today, yeah, again, like here's a chance to maybe make it a little bit more personal. Like, is there something you would want to share with somebody who might be kind of on the fence as far as like, what do I do now? Like, what's the right move? Like, what would you like to say?
I would just say you can feel open to share whatever it is that you want to share with the reboot strategists or heroes, anybody who you reach out to at Elevated Recovery, they're super accommodating, they're super understanding. And so just reach out to, somebody there and they're going to take care of you. They literally will take care of you, a lot of places will say, yeah, we're going to help you out, but they will literally take care of you. So, yeah, that's all I would say. Just reach out and don't feel like you're going to be judged. Just, yeah, they're going to take care of you. That's all I can say, really.
So good. I'm really proud of you, and this was an awesome call. I really appreciate you, Neil. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your insights, and thank you for your testimony, man. All the, continued success to you, bro.